Welcome to On Air with Russell of Hotels, where we talk about everything hospitality, from hotels to influencers and everything in between. We will feature guest interviews with hospitality professionals who will share their experiences. Your host, Russell Edmond, has spent over 25 years in the hospitality industry, beginning his career with Marriott International in hotel operations before moving into the sales arena and becoming a relationship building director of sales and marketing. Russell then went to the other side as a hospitality entrepreneur. He now consults in the hotel and meeting space, which includes being the CEO of Russell of Hotels Group. Did I mention he was a veggie foodie? Yes, Russell is always looking for good non-meat eats. Please welcome your host, Russell Edmond.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels live hospitality talk show. I do appreciate you joining me. I do not take it lightly that people actually want to, listen in and see what's going on in hospitality, at least from this person's perspective. So I do appreciate you guys taking the time out as you listen to that music kind of just die down. Hey, just a quick shout out. I'm not sure if you guys know the person that does this, the intro and my exit, the voice, that's Cheryl Rogers. I don't know if you guys knew that, but Cheryl's a dear friend of mine, and I'm sure she didn't want me to say this, but if you guys are into you just sending out good thoughts or prayers and things like that, she's been under the weather. So if you guys would not mind sending out your prayers, or just if you know her, send her a quick note, email, call her, whatever. Just let her know that you're thinking about her, and just put out some good thoughts or prayers if that's what you're into. I am, so I've been praying for her to get through this. But she's been a little under the weather, but that doesn't mean I don't think about her. I mean, she's still in our thoughts, or still in my thoughts. So there you go. So that's Cheryl Rogers. So I just thought about that. I mean, I've been thinking about it, but because she does my intro and my exit, of course, she's kind of top of mind, right? At least, during the show. Okay. Anyway, that's a little joke, Cheryl. So, but anyway, you be good. You take care, rest, do what you need to do to get better, because, we also do a little show. It's called What the Hell, but we haven't been doing it because she's been under the weather. So just get back to the point where we can get back and do some What the Hell. And we just talk about any and everything. But of course, the base of what we talk about is hospitality and things that she does and things that we do. But anyway, there you go. I say what I had to say on that. So thank you so much. Today is show number 126. Today is Tuesday, September 28th. It's Taco Tuesday. And yeah, you best believe I'm going to be having some tacos of some sort. I think I'm going to do some cauliflower tacos. Check this out. Cauliflower buffalo tacos. Okay, so I'm marinating some cauliflower and buffalo wing sauce. Vegan, you use butter, but I use vegan butter, and like the regular hot sauce, if that's Louisiana, if that's Red Rooster, whatever, anything that's spicy, I'll use that. I'll marinate that for like maybe a couple hours, and then I'll cook it in the air fryer and make it kind of like crispy or charred almost, and then chop that up and then use that as the taco mixture, like in your case, or anyone that eats meat, the taco meat or the taco filling. And then you put everything else on top of that. So that's what I'm going to do. All right. I don't know what you're going to do for Taco Tuesday, but I just advise you to do something. So hashtag Hospitality Unplugged. We talk about any and everything within the hospitality space, the good, the bad, the ugly. And believe me, yeah, this is a fun career and a fun job and all that kind of stuff, but there's some ugly too. So, don't get it twisted. We deal with some stuff, but you know what? We make it fun. That's what it's all about. Hospitality is how you make people feel, right? I mean, the hospitality industry is made up of a bunch of different, things like hotels, restaurants, the CVBs or tourism boards. If you're an influencer, you're in the hospitality space because you're dealing with that. Travel agents, travel advisors, all that is within the space, right? So hopefully I didn't leave anyone out. Rental car agencies, transportations, DMOs or DMCs, destination management companies, all those are all part of being in hospitality. So, but it's all about how you there's a feeling of hospitality. So those people that are in that industry, and there's a feeling of hospitality. That's basically how you were felt, how you felt. That didn't sound right. How you feel after someone does something for you, after you're checked in, or they served your meal, or they rented that car for you, or they took you on a tour. How did they make you feel? That's the hospitality aspect that a lot of people don't think about. But I always put hashtag hospitality unplugged in back of everything, because it has so many different meanings. It can be good. It's always good. Hopefully, hospitality unplugged means that's a good thing, right? But to me, as far as the show is concerned, when I put hashtag hospitality unplugged, you don't know what to expect, because within hotels, restaurants, tourism, whatever, you don't know what to expect. You walk in the door and hopefully things are going to go well, but you just never know. And I'm speaking from the perspective of, say I'm a hotel manager or director or whatever the case may be. My job is to make sure everyone that walks out has that perfect lodging experience, right? So that should be everyone's goal that works in a hotel. Anyone that walks through that door, anyone you talk to on the phone, anyone whose car you park, they should be, they should expect that ultimate either dining, lodging, valet car, parking, rental car experience. Okay, so there you go. So that's my interpretation of hospitality unplugged. So there you go. All right, enough of that. So, isn't that funny? You got your own show. You can, clap for yourself and all that kind of stuff. So, excuse me. So, connecting people and collaboration, and of course, hashtag hospitality unplugged. That's what we're all about here. Show number 126. I always have to say that like several times, because I just can't believe that I've got to 126 shows. I mean, who would have thought I would have got to one show? But anyway, it's still, I want to say happy Hispanic Heritage Month. So that's still going on. So it wasn't just last week, it's the whole month. Okay. So, oh my goodness, I think I messed up on that. And that's not what I wanted to put up there. That's not what I want to put up there either. So I have this thing. I'm doing stuff that I didn't even want to do yet. So I have this new platform. It's called Ecamm, right? So you can see all the things that are popping up, the on air at Russell Hotels, the show number 26, the hashtag hospitality unplugged. And I have this storyboard. So it's act as a storyboard. So if you guys know what a storyboard is, if, directors and movie directors and, people that do videos and all that stuff, they have storyboards of what they want to happen during their show, right? Or during their movie. So Ecamm acts as a storyboard. So I have scenes that I have that once I click, those things pop up. So, I got kind of caught off and I'm just hitting buttons, right? So that's why the other things popped up that I didn't want to pop up yet. So, and it's operator error. So it's not, anything else other than me doing something I shouldn't have been doing. So anyway, let's move forward, because I just wanted you guys to know that. And for the people that are listening on the podcast, it's okay. You don't know what I'm talking about because you can't see it. So, but anyway, we're live today on YouTube. So from now on, I think for a while, until further notice, my shows will be live on YouTube, and then I will take that same broadcast and put that on other platforms like LinkedIn. That's actually my platform of choice. But I mentioned a couple of weeks ago or last week that I wasn't getting the viewership that I thought I should be getting on LinkedIn. So I said, well, why am I doing it live straight to LinkedIn if I'm getting 100 people look at the show, right? So I'm like, let me just change up a little bit. And I changed up on to YouTube, right? So everything's broadcast on YouTube. And then I take that same MP4 and put that onto other platforms, Facebook. But LinkedIn is my choice. That's where I get the most people looking and making comments and engagement. So that's why I do that. But it's okay to change up if you need to. Don't get so used to one platform that you're just getting used to it and things aren't working the way you want them to. So always change it when you need to, right? So that's the power of having your own show where you can do whatever you need to do to make sure people, because I want to make sure people are watching it, right? I don't want to do it just because I'm the one that's watching it. And to be honest with you, after it's over, I rarely watch my own shows, right? Unless I think there's a glitch somewhere. So I'll go back and listen to where the glitch is, and then that's it. But I very seldom go back and watch myself on, YouTube or whatever. But I want to make sure that it's good, or it's not perfect, and nothing's gonna be perfect, but just make sure the platforms, you don't get used to just using one platform. At least see what else is out there, and what else is available for you, just in case something goes wrong, right? And as you can see, it's another beautiful Southern California day, right? I forgot to mention that. But anyway, so we're live on YouTube. And after the show's over, it becomes a podcast, and we're on Spotify, Pocket Cast, Google Podcasts, Overcast, and Apple Podcasts, or just wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Okay, so that's where we are. Just go On Air with Russell of Hotels, and you will find us, or Russell of Hotels. So I'm sitting here using this thing, and it's not even controlling it. So once again, happy Hispanic Heritage Month. So let me just go ahead and click that. I think I can click that, and maybe that'll pop up. No, that's not what it is, but that's okay. So we're in industry news now. And I was going to do that anyway. So, but industry news, specifically hotel recovery from the pandemic. Now, we always want to know what's going on, or are people traveling and things like that. So I actually got this information from, I think her name is Wendy Keel. Yeah, Wendy Keel. She used to be with LA Tourism. So she was in charge of all the stats, like any stats, as far as tourism. So she put something out a couple of days ago. And of course, I glean as much information as I can because I want to share it with people that listen or watch On Air with Russell of Hotels. So the industry's economic recovery remains sluggish, impacted by lingering worker shortages as the Delta variant of the coronavirus keeps people skittish. This is what Wendy said, okay? Her organization is called Symphony at Tourism Economics. So she's basically, like I said, she's a number cruncher for, tourism. And if you need anything to know about tourism, Wendy Keel is the person you need to talk to. Okay. I mean, numbers, stats, things like that, the recovery, things like that. So that's where I get my information from. So that's, so I'm just sharing the information that she shared. Labor shortages are expected to continue as companies struggle to hire and keep workers, and that will linger into upcoming months. So we're not out of the woods with that. So meaning hotels, restaurants, and I'm only going to go say California, Los Angeles area. We're still dealing with shortages of employees or associates, however you want to put that. They haven't come back to work yet. So we're still dealing with those shortages. But some of the rest of the country is dealing with the same things as well. But I'm only going from the perspective of LA and California as a state. So if you're having trouble hiring, you're in good company. That's what she says. Everybody's having trouble hiring at this point. Women, and particularly women of color, were disproportionately hurt during the pandemic, she added. And they stayed at home to take care of their children. So hopefully now that school's back, maybe the workforce will increase, meaning more people will go back to work now that school has been in session for the last, month or so. So hopefully that will strengthen our industry, the hospitality industry, because like I said, certain services we're not able to offer certain services in hotels because they don't have enough people to do it. Or let's say, and I keep mentioning this, let's say specifically hotels that are running maybe 80, 90%. Well, guess what? Those hotels can actually be running 100% if they had enough people to service the clients, maybe clean the rooms, all that stuff, right? So some hotels are holding back rooms, or they're carrying over rooms, meaning they're not cleaning those rooms until, they have enough staff, to come and clean them. So, that's the reality. I talked to housekeeping managers, sales directors, GMs, VPs of hotels. They're telling me the same thing, where, hotels, there's been periods where, yes, they could have done a lot better. Yes, they could have sold out, but, they can't sell out because they don't have enough people to clean the rooms, to check people in, to do all the things that, normally that happens. So, so those are things to think about if you're a hotelier, or maybe you're a tourist or someone that stays in hotels. You got to think about this stuff, because I always tell people, make sure you pack your patience when you go into hotels or in restaurants, because they could be severely understaffed. And, going off on that person at the front desk, that, only one person taking care of 20 people that are behind you, is not going to help matters. It's not going to get you checked in any quicker, because they don't have enough people. So that's it. So let's just make sure we are packing our patience. And I got that term from somebody. I can't remember who I got it from, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. But just make sure you're packing your patience when you go to a hotel. So none of that stuff has changed, right? So I keep saying that. So make sure we continue to do that. Nearly 38% of former hospitality workers said they were not planning to go back to work in the hospitality sector, and they're looking for jobs outside of that. So I'll say this again, 38% of people that used to work in hotels or restaurants or hospitality sector are not coming back to the hospitality sector because they want to do something else. Why are they, ticked off because they got laid off in the first place? Or maybe they're working too hard and maybe underappreciated, overworked, underappreciated. I think I would go with that one, because I think for years that's what's happened. That's what has occurred, and now this is just a way of saying, hey, well, there's something else. There's some other industry that will hire me, and maybe I'll be a little bit more appreciated. So make sure we're appreciating our employees. That's it. That's all we need to do is just appreciate, thank them. That's why we had International Housekeeping Week a couple of weeks ago. They need to be appreciated. Housekeepers need to be appreciated. Everyone needs to be appreciated, but especially the people that bust their humps every single day. All right. And that's the housekeeping department. I used to be a housekeeping manager. I know darn well that they bust their hump every single day. Okay. So I appreciate what they do, and I always made it a point. And I didn't have to wait for International Housekeeping Week to treat them to lunch, or to bring donuts or treats or snacks or whatever, or just say thank you. You don't have to have this international week to do that stuff. So make sure we're taking care of our people. It goes without saying, but you just be amazed of what's not happening, what managers are not doing for their people. Okay, so just take care of people, because if you take care of your employees, they will in turn take care of the guest. That's an old Marriott thing, right? I can just drop the mic right there and I'm done. Okay, that's what I learned from Marriott. Almost day one of Marriott training, that's what they talked about. And from that day on to this day current, I remember that. I've never forgotten it. Every hotel I've gone to, I've mentioned that same thing, if they're a Marriott property or not. And most people didn't come from Marriott. Once you get into the franchise hotels and things like that, there's less people that came up or were trained from Marriott or maybe Hilton or even, some of the others, let's say the big three. There's less people that were trained by that. So, I'm an old dog, I guess. So I still remember the training, and to this day, some of the things I still do, some of the things I still talk about are because of that training, right? SOPs, right? They had SOPs for everything. They had SOP to go to the bathroom, what you needed to do in order for you to excuse yourself from your area that you're working in. They had an SOP for that. So, and it's like this thick. It's like as big as this laptop computer here. It's as thick as that. So, but anyway, I remember those days. Those days were fun. Now looking back at it, maybe, what? The training was fun though. I'm not going to lie and say it was not fun, because I had a blast, and I'm still having a blast today, but it's just in a different way, but I'm still doing it. Domestic travel is expected to rebound to the pre-pandemic levels in 2023. This is 2021. Okay, so we got to go through 2022 before we get to that, barring any other issues that are happening. While international travel will take a bit longer, it is expected to rebound in 2024. So international travel, like it was pre-pandemic, and so we're saying 2019, that will rebound in 2024. That's what the numbers are saying right now. Transient business, group, and international travel face continued headwinds, which means they're not recovering the way we thought they should be. Key indicators of recovery to follow include vaccination rates, COVID active cases, relaxation of government restrictions, reopening of air routes, and increased capacities and return to school and office places. She also added that travel and hotel booking is lagging across the state of California as well as the county of Los Angeles. It is getting better. It's getting better, but there's a lot of hesitancy from corporations and individual travelers to participate in large conventions and trade shows. So we know that, right? So smaller meetings, yes, smaller meetings are back, but on average, I'm not sure what the average numbers are for meetings, but the huge meetings, although there's a few, I think there's been a few large ones in Florida, Texas, Vegas, of course, have had a few ones, and I mean, over 1,000 people. But coming up in Vegas, I think, why can I think of IMAX? I'm not sure if IMAX is coming back to Vegas this year, I believe, but I don't know what the numbers are because IMAX used to be 10 to 15,000 people. Is there going to be 10 to 15,000 people because it's an international conference? It just happens to be in Vegas. I'm, waiting to see if there's going to be the same amount of people, or will those people even be able to make it here? Meaning people from international locations, will they be able to make it to Vegas for IMAX? So there's still a lot of things out there that we don't know. But she did say it's getting better, but there's a lot of hesitancy, individual traveler, and I said this, corporations, that's going to take a while to recover, basically is what she's saying. So, people going back to the office, have they gone back to the office yet? Because that's going to stem the business transient travel, right? That means an individual business person traveling for business, right? So that's what that is. That's not group. Group business is 10 rooms or more on a peak night, okay? So and people coming in together for one common thing, and that's a meeting, a board meeting, a conference, whatever, retreat or something like that. So that's what that is. So that's some good information, right? So thank you so much. I'll say it again, Wendy Keel. So if you want more information, just Google Wendy Keel, and Keel is spelled Kheel. So I always give credit where credit is due. I mean, I didn't make this information up. Wendy is crunching numbers and getting all that stuff, so I do appreciate her for doing that and sharing that, not just with me, but she shared it. Obviously, I found it somewhere, right? So, but I do appreciate the information because I like to share stuff. Did you guys know this? U.S. Hispanic, if it's Hispanic, Latino, Latinx, travelers spent $113 billion on domestic travel in 2019. That's 13% of all domestic leisure travel in 2019. Isn't that crazy? That is, there you go. See, boom, there you go. So just in case you didn't see it, this is huge industry news. U.S. Hispanic, and I put Hispanic, Latino, Latinx, and I grouped it all together, and I said those travelers spent $113 billion on domestic travel in 2019. So what would I do? So say I'm a director of sales and marketing at any hotel, didn't even matter, whatever hotel I'm at currently. What would I do with that information? And I wasn't getting my fair share of this $113 billion. You're never going to get all of it, right? We know that, but I just need a little bit of it, right? What would I be doing? And I've been doing things the old-fashioned way, or the way we've done it for years. We don't do that. We've never done that. Why don't we change up our promotion or advertising? Because we've never done it. I hear that crap all the time. So, that's not what I wanted to put. Oh my goodness, I'm just losing my mind here. Diversity in marketing. That's what I'll be doing. I would be putting out things that specific to that particular group of travelers. So that's the Hispanic, that's the Latino, that's the Latinx market. I'll be putting out marketing things specifically to them because people want to see themselves staying at your hotel or staying at your resort or staying at your property or eating in your restaurant or renting a car, whatever. People want to see themselves doing things, right? So we got enough of just, of just the regular advertising that you see on TV, and now it's trying to change a little bit, right? You can see that there's more diversity in marketing because you can see it on TV or you can see it different places. But that's where people like me come in, right? So that's why I post things the way I post things, okay? First of all, it's coming from me, so I got a different spin on how I would do things anyway. Maybe I'm playing different music, or maybe I'm playing music at all, because the traditional way would not be to play music at all. The traditional way would be to put a still picture and, okay, enjoy yourself here, and you're just like, like that. No, but tradition, okay? So do something different. So what I'm saying now, if I knew this, let me go back. If I knew that, okay, 113 billion on domestic travel, and it's coming from this group of travelers, Hispanic, Latino, Latinx, domestic travel. That means here in the US, okay? If I knew that, I wasn't doing everything I could to get that, I would go to here, okay? And it says, for people that are watching, I keep going back and forth between slides. So the slide I'm on now says diversity in marketing. So if I knew, and I'll go back again just to say this, U.S. Hispanic, Latino, Latinx travelers spent $113 billion on domestic travel in 2019. If I knew that and I wasn't doing everything to get my fair share of that business, I would be, talking about diversity in marketing, meaning I need to spin it a little differently because I've been doing the same thing forever with the same results. So if you're doing the same things with the same results, maybe you need to change up your marketing strategy. That's what I would do. Okay. So if that's going after a certain group of people, that's what I'll be doing. Okay. So, and it just kills me that we always want this, we call it Smurf business, right? It's social, military, educational, religious, fraternal. What's the S? I guess that can be sports, right? But a lot of these groups fall into that category, right? But we want that business because right now, Smurf and leisure business, if you're having any group business, it's going to be like Smurf stuff. That's social. That's people getting married and they have room nights attached to it. There's people that are having family reunions and they have rooms attached to it. That's Smurf. Okay. That's what Smurf is. That's what it stands for. It's an acronym for social, military, educational, religious, fraternal, and sports. Okay. So social, whatever. I don't know, whatever. So some of those letters are interchangeable. The S's are interchangeable. So we always want that business, but we don't want to do what it takes to get that business. We don't want to market to get that business. And how we market it is we need to change the narrative. We need to change the pictures that we're sending out. Bottom line, that's it. So that's it. So I'm done with that one. And then people are probably like, woo, he's on one today. No, I'm on one every day. It's just that this came up today and that's why I'm talking about it. But we need to, as directors of marketing, general managers, we need to change the narrative, and because we're missing out on business. And if you're not getting your share of Hispanic business, you're missing the boat. You ain't doing a good job. Boom, done. I said it. Whew. Increase your social media engagement. What about increasing that? So I always say, if you want to increase your social engagement, IG Reels, okay, Instagram Reels. Make sure you do live broadcasts like this. This is a live broadcast, and I also do lives throughout the week. Also, in order to put the brand out, to let people know that this is this Russell of Hotels person. This is what he does, right? So these are things that we need to make sure that we continue to do in order to be seen. Just like people do, and I keep using this example, they act a fool on TikTok, dancing and all this stuff. Why aren't we acting a fool for our own brands? No one's listening? What? Crickets, huh? Are you serious? So if people are out there doing that, okay, that's enough of that. So if people are like I said, acting crazy, doing TikTok videos, they're dancing and all those things, why aren't we acting the fool for our own brand? So it starts with this brand, right? It starts with that person in the mirror, okay? That person in the mirror dictates what happens for the brand that they represent, okay? So you're responsible for your brand. Yeah, I understand. This is me. I'm Russell, right? So, but Russell's a brand who represents Russell of Hotels, or On Air with Russell of Hotels. So when I work for the Sheraton, Russell the brand worked for the brand, the Universal Sheraton. And everything that I did, I made sure I brought the Sheraton in with me. Meaning if I was posting things about Russell was, walking the floors or whatever, I made sure I hashtag, Sheraton Universal. That's the stuff that I'm talking about. Okay. So when you're working for a brand, you have to be the brand advocate. Okay. Not the ambassador, the brand advocate, because you work there, you're getting paid there. Hopefully you're happy there, and that should show in some social media engagement. That should show on, your IG and all that. So in order to increase things, you have to do things that maybe you're not so comfortable with. Get outside of that little box or the triangle or square or whatever the heck you're in, and make some stuff happen. Do some different things. I mean, that's it. I mean, you can't do the same things and expect, some different stuff. Oh, I'm going to get better results. What are you doing? Well, the same thing we did last year before COVID. Well, no, that's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Okay. So, but anyway, you guys will get it. You guys will get it one day. You will get it. You will understand, like, hey, that Russell Hotels, that guy was on to something. Let me call that guy. He may have something. Let me pick his brain. And you can always do that. Please feel free to pick my brain. I'm going to give my contact information in a minute. But next, who's hiring? I did see a couple people that were hiring, and I always want to make sure that I include that. Let me see. My iPad why is it just taking so much time? And it never does that. I've never had this happen before. Okay, there we go. Today, Director of Sales and Marketing at the Hilton Los Angeles Airport, LAX Hilton. They're hiring right there on Century Boulevard. So if you're Director of Sales, check that out. They just posted that today. Let's see. And I try to only show the ones or talk about the ones that are hiring that are only a week out, because sometimes that other stuff, you may call them or look it up and you don't see it because it's already gone. So I want to make sure they're within a week of when they were posted. Catering Sales Manager, Luskin Conference Center. That's on the campus of UCLA. They just posted that one last week, so that's a week old. Small Meetings Manager, Luskin Conference Center. So they have two positions, so a Catering Sales Manager and a Small Meetings Manager at the Luskin Conference Center, UCLA. Assistant Director of Food and Beverage, Rosewood Sand Hill. I don't even know what that is, but Rosewood Sand Hill. Check that out if you're interested. Director of Finance at the Conrad Los Angeles. Now, the Conrad Los Angeles, I just found this out. They don't open until next year. But, of course, they're hiring people now, right? So check out the Conrad. It's downtown L.A. Conrad is the flagship for the Hilton hotels. So Conrad Hilton, that was the matriarch for the hotel, the Hilton brand hotel. Let's see. What else? Oh, marketing intern. If you're looking for an internship at the Hotel Figueroa, that's on Figueroa in downtown. It's a nice. I love that hotel. That's probably one of my favorite hotels. Next to the Ace Hotel, that would be. I think that would be number 2. Ace Hotel would be number 1, and then number 2 would be the Hotel Fig. I just had to throw that in there. Somebody listening to that will get that. And let's see what else. Director of Finance at the Sheraton Gateway, LAX. And let's see. Director of Banquets at the Sofitel Los Angeles. That's on La Cienega. And let's see what else. Is that it? Yes, that would be it for that. So if you're interested in those positions, just go to hcareers.com and you'll find those positions there. Let's see. So IG Reels, did you go back to work and want to be noticed? Like I said, create some content. The power of content is crazy, right? So just make sure we do that. And if you want to get a hold of me, you can ask me questions, email me, russell@russellofhotels.com. That's how you get a hold of me. Use social media consistently to get your message out. Whatever your product or service is, stay relevant, and it should be a huge part of your marketing strategy. So make sure you do that. And I mentioned a little while ago, the Conrad Los Angeles will be opening 2022. It's called the Conrad LA at the Grand LA, whatever the heck that is. I think it must be on Grand Avenue. That's what I'm thinking. So it's a whole complex. It's going to be hotel is going to be 305 rooms. Excuse me, over 28 floors. Also included is going to be 400 residences, restaurants, and retail space as well. So it's going to be a whole complex of stuff. So make sure you guys go and, when that opens in 2022, let's go check it out. Oh, and did you also know that the Fairmont Century Plaza, okay, it used to be called I think it was the Hyatt Century Plaza before they closed it down several years ago. But it was always, the name Century Plaza Hotel was always in it. But now it's the Fairmont Century Plaza Hotel, which is in Century City on Avenue of the Stars. Okay, it just reopened yesterday. So I'm not sure the specifics because I know they tore some stuff down, and it may be a smaller hotel now, because I think at one time, including the tower, it was 900 to 1,000 rooms, I believe. But I think it's smaller now. But I'll get the specifics for you for next week. But the rates started off at $750 to $850 a night, and that's for a standard room. So that's tonight. If you want to stay tonight, if they had availability, you'll be paying anywhere between $750 and $850 a night. But regardless, make sure you book direct, okay? So if you're going to book that $750 standard room, make sure you book it direct and go to FairmontCenturyPlaza.com and do that. Quick shout outs to Marie Quarry with Meetings Collective and Marette Padavani she's a director of marketing at Badrutz Palace in Switzerland. So they were, I'm not sure if you guys know this, and maybe you saw it on LinkedIn or YouTube, I'm not sure, but I started doing this another kind of show, a live show. It's called Did You Choose Hospitality, or Did Hospitality Choose You? Okay, so I'm asking hospitality professionals this question. It's like it started off, I thought it was going to be 10 to 15 minute conversation. Now it's starting off to be like 30 to 40 minute conversations, which is fine, right? Because it goes into something else, and you talk about that, and you can't rush through it. And I don't want to rush through it. I want people to get the information out so people know how individuals got into this industry, right? So that's the important thing. The important thing is, how did they get into the industry? What they get out of it? What are they doing now? And that's it. So that's basically it. I got a couple other people coming up, and these shows they pop up when people are ready to do it. It's not like this show where On Air with Russell of Hotels comes on every Tuesday at 1:00 Pacific Standard Time. No, it's not like that. It's whenever they want to do it. Whenever they have time to do it and I have time to do it, we do it. Like Marette, we did it last Thursday. Marie, we did it just yesterday, right? So whenever they have time to do it, we'll do it. So if anybody's interested in telling your story, because we all have a different story on how we got into this crazy industry that we call hospitality. Okay, so that's what that's all about. So quick shout out to those people, and I appreciate them being good sports about it. And they brought it. They came with it. They told us what they thought about it, what they did, and the choices they made as far as being hospitality professionals and what they're doing now. So it's great. So it's a way to, talk about yourself, talk about your brand, talk about your experience. That's what it's all about. That's what On Air with Russell of Hotels is about. Okay, that's why I started this whole show, to get people on to talk about themselves. And it just kills me that, what salesperson doesn't want to talk about themselves? I mean, it's not just for salespeople. I want everybody in the space to come on, but specifically because my last position was director of sales, I guess I kind of gravitate to those people, or those are people that I know that are friends of mine or whatever. but it's for everyone, right? So if you're a revenue manager, I need a revenue manager on the show. If you're a revenue manager, maybe you're a chief engineer, maybe you're the chef, whatever. Maybe you're head of valet, maybe you're a valet parker. It doesn't matter. Concierge, come on and talk about your experience with, and just answer that question. Did you choose hospitality or did hospitality choose you? Boom. Isn't that powerful in those words? Ooh, boy, you can tell I'm on one today. So, okay, real quick, shout out to Doreen Mills. Doreen Mills is the assistant general manager for Sonesta, that hotel in El Segundo. Now, I've known Doreen for a number of years. She called me specifically the other day and said, I need people. I need help. I need night auditors. I need housekeepers. I need people to work at the front desk. So if you know anyone who's looking for a job at a hotel or looking for a job, and I can point you to a hotel. So the Sonesta in El Segundo, what street is it on? It's on Mariposa. So it's on, you take Sepulveda and turn on Mariposa, and it's right there on the corner. So if you're interested, or just call, go online. What am I saying? You're not driving by anywhere. I'm thinking old school, right? No, call, ask for Doreen, right? So call the Sonesta Hotel. They used to be the Courtyard. Okay, and I told Doreen, she didn't know this. I said, that hotel is my first hotel. That was number 1 out of 14. She said, oh my God, are you serious? I said, yeah. She goes, what did you do there? I said, I was a housekeeping manager. You were in housekeeping? I said, you're darn right. I was in housekeeping. I was a housekeeping trainee, manager trainee, and then you became a manager after, I don't know, I remember, it must have been like a 6-month training, something like that. But anyway, great experience, great hotel, love that hotel. So I drive by there every now and then just to reminisce. I'm joking. Oh boy. So anyway, I already said who's hiring. So Doreen is hiring. 9 Meat Eats. I talked about the 9 Meat Eats, but Marie and I met at Seabirds in Long Beach last week. Seabirds is a vegan restaurant in Long Beach in the LBC, Strong Beach. I had a beet burger. Man, I've had a beet burger before, but never like this. This was so flavorful. It was so good. It was hashtag delish. Okay, so, and I had the burnt Brussels sprouts. So I had the beet burger, which came with fries, and then I had the burnt Brussels sprouts. Oh my God, you're talking about delish. So you need to go check that out. So if you're ever in Long Beach, you want a place to eat and you want to try something different, you want to do, you know what, I want to do plant-based today. Where should I go? Check out Seabirds in Long Beach. That's one of my favorite ones. There's like 10 vegan restaurants or plant-based restaurants in Long Beach, and Seabirds is probably it's in my top two, okay? Top 2. So you guys check it out. And if you can always ask me questions. People ask me questions about all the time, like, hey, where do you go to eat when you want 9 Meat Eats? Hey, give me a call. I have a list of 44 restaurants in my phone that I haven't got to yet. I think I've done maybe 20. So I still got like 25 more to get to. So call me and I'll give you, the 411 on, 9 Meat Eats. Are we being consistent with our messaging, or our content? Keep us up to date. What does that mean? Are we keeping us up? Are we keeping people up to date? Are we changing protocols and putting them on our website? That's basically what I'm trying to say. So if you're changing any protocol, COVID protocol or whatever, either you're changing it, meaning you have to wear a mask or you don't have to wear a mask, make sure you put that on your website and make sure reality is consistent with your website, if that makes sense at all. So contact information, you already know that. What does Russell of Hotels do? Everybody asks me, what the hell is Russell of Hotels and what the heck does he do? In a noisy digital space, I keep your brand notice. Does that make sense? I mean, that's kind of to the point, right? So everybody's posting stuff. How do you get noticed over someone else? What do you add? Well, first of all, like I said, make sure you're doing video. IG Reels works. Lives, they work as well. Don't limit yourself to one platform, because I think that kills everything. If you limit yourself to one platform, what happens if that platform doesn't work? What happens if that, meaning I don't know, goes out of business? Or what happens if that platform suspends you? Like I got suspended like a month ago from Instagram because I did something I guess I wasn't supposed to do. Well, they suspended me for like almost 2 weeks. So what happens then? So that's why, I make sure I'm spreading the love or spreading my content, creating content for other platforms, because what happens if you get suspended or something goes away all of a sudden? Or maybe they say, oh, we're taking it down for maintenance. What do you do then? So just make sure you don't have to. There's no rules or laws that say, keep everything on one platform. No, you can do multiple platforms. Yes, you can. So that's what I would suggest that you do. So I keep brands, like I said, like the people that do crazy videos on TikTok, they want to be noticed. My brand is to make your brand or to keep your brand noticed. So if that makes sense. Site selection, hotel site selection, I do that as well. So for companies and organizations, I help them find the proper hotel for their meeting, convention, retreat, whatever it may be. All markets, doesn't matter. It can be Smurf, it can be corporate, it can be government, it can be whatever, education, whatever. Oh, that's Smurf, right? So you guys paid attention. So it can be any of those things, but my job is to source out those particular hotels or those properties with the RFP on your behalf. Once I get the information back, I compile it in a report and send it to my client. We go over it and they say, okay, well, I want more information on this hotel. Or these hotels. So I go back to the hotel and say, hey, and I also do the contract negotiation and the pricing negotiation, all that stuff as well. And so it's my job to go back and say, hey, can we get a better rate here? Can we do this? What about the attrition? What about the cancellation clause? I mean, all those things are important in a contract or an agreement. So my job is to make sure that my client understands what those clauses or that agreement means, right? So, but excuse me while I take a drink of water. That was rather loud, but thank you so much for that. So that's what hotel site selection is. And then what else? I'm a show host. So I'm show host of On Air with Russell of Hotels, and also the show host of that other thing I just said. Did you choose hospitality? Or did hospitality choose you? So, and did you guys know that On Air with Russell of Hotels, top 25 international hotel podcast? Okay. I believe I was number 17 the last time I checked. I'm gonna stop checking because I may be off the list, but start off as number 11 and then went down to number 17 for some reason, but I could be up now. I don't know, but there you go. So we're winding down here, coming towards the end of the show, but I had one question I wanted to ask. Well, there's probably a couple of different questions, but check this one out. Question. Let me clear my throat for that one. Is a hotel or resort still a 4 or 5 diamond property without the service? What does that mean? I mean, people are like, what the heck is he saying now? What does that mean? Well, that means in the days of COVID, right, the things that we're going through now, and we're not hotels and resorts are not, I'm not saying all of them, but quite a few of them are affected by this. And I'd made a comment or made an example a little while ago where I said some hotels can be running 100%, but because of the staffing levels, they're unable to run 100% because they don't have people to clean. They don't have people to open up this outlet, that outlet. So a 4 or 5 diamond property, and I said diamond because AAA rates hotels and we rate them as diamonds, or they rate them as diamonds, not stars. Okay, so Expedia, some of these third party sites may say, oh, this is a 4-star hotel, 5-star hotel. Well, that's their own rating system. That's not the AAA rating system. AAA rates hotels in diamonds. Okay, so just a little FYI. So, and the diamonds basically go with the types of service that you have, right? So does it have 24-hour room service? Do you have turn down service? Do you have valet parking 24 hours? I mean, all those different things play a role into separating a 3 from a 4, a 4 from a 5. Okay, so If you don't have these services, if your spa's not open, if you no longer do turn down service, if you don't have 24-hour valet or 24-hour room service, you don't have any of that stuff, is it still a 4 or 5 diamond property? Is that a good question? You know, Marie and I were having, can I say Marie? Okay. Marie and I were having this conversation the other day. She actually brought it up. And I was like, wow, that's a good question. I never heard that put like that. But isn't that a good question? So my question is to everyone out there, when you guys hear this, make some comments in the comment box and let me know, is a hotel or resort still a 4 or 5 diamond property without the services? That's a good question, right? So I don't know what to say about that. But and then to top it off, we're still charging, or hotels are still charging that 4 or 5 diamond price. Okay. So, but I'm sure different days, everything's based on supply and demand. So if we're busy on, one period of the week, then of course the rates are going to go up. But if we're less busy on other parts of the week, then the prices will go down. So that's supply and demand, right? So like Vegas, they're busy on the weekend. So like say probably Thursday through Sunday, they're busy. But Sunday through Wednesday or through Thursday, they're not busy, right? So that's how that works. So they up the prices on the weekends because more people are coming in on the weekends. So is it the same for every property? No, I mean, it just depends on where these hotels are located and all that stuff. But bottom line is it still a 4 or 5 diamond property without the services that we were used to? Turn down service, 24-hour room service, 24-hour, valet parking, the spa, all that stuff. The pool's open 24 hours, all that stuff. Is it still considered a 4 or 5 diamond property? So, like I said, I can't wait to hear some of the comments. So just, it's just one of those things that make you think like, that Russell Hotels, that guy is on to something here. So just something I thought I would share. Marie, like I said, brought it up, but I'm like, Marie, I got to say something. I have to say something. I have to bring that up because that's a great question. That's a great question. So thank you so much, Marie. So like I said, we're getting towards the end of the show. These are questions I always ask other than that question today. What are you doing? What is your brand doing to stay relevant? Or what are you doing for your brand to stay relevant? Should I take this off now? Okay, I will. Is your brand... But I'm mixing up what I'm saying here. What is your brand doing to stay relevant? That's number 1. Number 2, are you marketing differently or the same as before COVID? Okay. Number 3, how are you connecting with your past or current clients or customers? Are you staying engaged with them? If so, how are you doing that? Number 4, what has this situation taught you? This whole COVID thing, what has it taught you? What has it taught me? I'll just throw that out there. I need to do more of the following, and that was more social media presence. I need to do more lives. I need to start a podcast, which I did, or be on someone else's show, and that's what I've been doing. Whenever I'm invited, I go on anyone's show that will ask me, not anyone, but anything that I get a chance to talk about myself or what I do or this industry that I love so much. Anytime someone asks me to do that, I'm going on there because it's important that we all stay relevant. However you stay relevant, however you stay top of mind, you need to do that, right? So whatever that is, whatever that looks like, we all need to do that. So, and I talk about it all the time. So it's not like I'm just saying these things. I mean, this is I walk the walk, right? I may talk the talk, but I'm doing it as well, right? So I know how to stay relevant. I know how to be top of mind because guess what? I'm posting, if it's 7 days a week, I'm probably posting 6 of those days, posting something, sometimes several times a day. So there you go. I mean, social media is just basically kind of even the playing field. So any brand can put out a message. Anybody can put out a message. So why aren't we doing that? Let's see. I mentioned hotel. Did I mention hotel brand advocate? Yeah, it's someone well, it's several ways of looking at it. It can be an employee. It can be you working for a company. You can be the brand advocate, meaning, you're just talking about the hotel because you love it. It's been great to you. The company's been great to you, and you're not afraid to let people know. Okay, and you tell all your network about that hotel that you work in. Oh, it's the greatest job I've ever had. I'm a director of sales and marketing there. Oh, you should come check it out. That's what a brand advocate does. Okay. There's also guests, your frequent stay guests, they're brand advocates as well. They will stay at your hotel and they will boast about your hotel to their friends just because they love your brand. Not because you're paying them something or you're giving them free this or free that. No, because they just love it. They've been staying there for years. Find those people. Those are people that every hotel needs to find a brand advocate who will talk on behalf of your hotel. And it's not against the rules to do that, right? To find one, all right? It's not against the rules to have them on the live with you and say, hey, Mr. Joe Smith, what do you think about our hotel? Oh, I love this. I love that. I've been staying here for years. My office is right down the street, so I've been staying for years and blah, 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 blah. Oh, his office is down the street. Who else works in an office that should be staying at your hotel? So that just opens up a whole new can of worms of business that you could be getting that you're probably not getting. So one thing leads to another. See, that's a salesperson in me, right? That's what a salesperson would do. Anyway, somebody get that after the show's over. They were like, oh, wait a minute. I do get that. That makes sense. Okay, I'm going to end this on the 4 Ps. Russell of Hotels, 4 Ps. Purpose. Know your why. Know why the heck you're doing what you're doing. Okay. Why am I doing this? To stay relevant. Okay. To stay top of mind. Okay. To let people know what I do. That's why I do this show, right? And to bring people together in this hospitality space, have them come on and share their story or talk about themselves. That's why I do what I do. Number 2, people. Be an inclusive leader. Include everybody. Don't exclude people. Number 3, passion. Either you have it or you don't. Okay, you got to have passion for what you're doing. I don't care what you're doing, have passion for it. Number 4, perseverance. Be consistent. Continue to evolve. Don't give up and swerve when you need to. On air with Russell of Hotels, we don't pivot, we swerve. Okay, that's what we do. If you're a leader, lead by example and be more inclusive with your team. You get the whole thing, this whole inclusive thing. Use your time to develop yourself, separate yourself from the pack, learn something new, invest in yourself, and always, always stay relevant. And focus on what you can control. You can't control everything. The hell with everything else. Okay, so your brand is your culture. Stay positive. Leadership dictates where your company will go. So be a good and consistent leader. So I think that's it. So I thank you so much for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels. You guys have a great week. We'll see you back next week for show number 127. And remember,
thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels.
Check out the
Please
latest.
Tune in every Tuesday
Did you
at
choose
1 p.m.
hospitality,
as we talk to
or the
other
hospitality choose you?
professionals.
Until then,
your feedback
peace.
is important to Russell. Feel free to email him at russell@russellofhotels.com with any questions or suggestions. Until next time, try not to be a person of success, rather become a person of great value.